Who's that coming down the track? Who's that coming down the track? It's a mean machine, red flag. It's a mean machine, red flag. Ain't nothing finer in the land. Ain't nothing finer in the land. And the drunk on nuts is Georgia Bear. And the drunk on nuts is Georgia Bear. No, no!
What's up, y'all? This is John and Mike back for another episode of the Nothing Finer podcast. As always, you can find us on Millions and as a part of the Fans First Sports Network. This is part 9 of the Jackpot What Happened in 2007 series we're doing, covering weeks 12 and 13. After this, we're getting into championship and bowl season. So we are lights at the end of the tunnel. We're almost there. We are almost there. And we just finished recording our Bold Takes episode, so we're not going to bore you with saying the same how are you doing, what are you drinking stuff. I will say, I've been tired of shit all day, so I'm drinking a caffeinated Diet Coke at 9 p.m., which is not like me.
Caffeine doesn't do a whole lot for me. I mean, I won't drink an energy drink this late, but like if I had a Diet Coke, like I'll pass out.
Fun fact, a 12-ounce can of Diet Coke has as much caffeine as a 20-ounce Diet Coke has as much caffeine as a 12-ounce Red Bull.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Diet Coke has more caffeine than regular Coke.
Damn. Okay. We do gotta shout out the Barrel House stuff again, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, go ahead. I completely forgot.
Yeah, so we talked about it the last episode, talked about it on social media a little bit, but again, we're gonna be at the Barrel House South over there on Congress Street near City Market and all that for the Georgia Clemson game on the 31st. Barrel House is gonna have some game day specials like beer buckets, beer towers, buckets of canned cocktails. The people at Jameson and Absolute are going to be there giving out free drinks and free merch. So gotta go there. Gotta go there and get that free stuff. Can't beat it. Orlay going to debut their the new game day menu. It's going to be there all season. It's going to be great. Those of you guys that have been to Savannah, been to Orlay, you know what's good. One of my favorite places to go when I go downtown. And then, of course, we're going to have some merch there, some stickers. The Smart Back 2024, make Georgia great again, make Georgia champs again. Sorry, stuff should hopefully be there. But yeah, man, come out there. It's gonna be a good time. Wes is gonna be there too. Not giving him an option to not be there. He'll be there.
Yeah. I will say, kind of buried the lead. We're also doing our Tennessee Tech ticket giveaway there.
Oh yeah.
So if you want free tickets to the Tennessee Tech game, my actual tickets, like where I normally sit, go to our Instagram, do all of the things in the post, and you'll be in the drawing. So
yeah, I think you got to like Barrel House South and our page to be eligible for that.
Yes, tag a friend in the comments, and then if you share the post to your story, you get a second entry. So.
And I believe we're gonna say the winner of that
at the end of the Clemson game.
Yeah. So that's what, 3 weeks away or so? 4 weeks. 20 something days at this point.
Weeks,
yeah.
4 weeks to the day.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, we're excited about that. We are in talks about doing this all season long for most of the big away games. So, come out, hang out. If you're not in Savannah, be in Savannah. It's not difficult. And if you're not going to be there for this one, join us for the next one.
Yep, there'll be a few, yeah.
So, getting into week 12 of the 2007 season, we're going into the BCS poll. LSU took the number 1 spot. Oregon at 2. I feel like I said that wrong. LSU at the number 1. Oregon at 2, Oklahoma 3, Kansas at 4, West Virginia 5, Mizzou 6, Ohio State down 6 spots to number 7, Georgia moved up to 8, Arizona State at 9, Virginia Tech at 10, USC at 11, Texas at 12, Hawaii at 13, Florida with 3 L's at 14, Clemson at 15, Virginia 16, Boise State 17, Boston College 18, Tennessee 19, Illinois 20, Cincinnati 21, Kentucky 22, Michigan down 10 to 23, Wisconsin at 24, UConn down to 25.
Yeah, the Ohio State lost to Illinois. Tough look for him.
Our guy Juice.
I'm still waiting on that response, Juice. Come on.
Yeah, we may have to look him up on LinkedIn and see what he's doing nowadays.
100% probably have a better chance of getting him on LinkedIn than Twitter or X.
Should we do a podcast LinkedIn and just share lie stories about how inspirational we are?
It wouldn't hurt.
If it can't hurt, it can only help, right?
Yep.
First game we're talking about for Week 12, 23 Kentucky at number 9 Georgia. Georgia won this game 24-13. Kentucky was up 10-0 at the end of the first period before Georgia scored 21 unanswered points. Stafford was 12-22 for 99 yards with 2 picks and 1 rushing touchdown. That is a depressing stat line.
It really is. It was a struggle through the air, but they won.
They won. Noshawn had 22 carries for 124 yards and a touchdown. Thomas Brown, 22 carries, 73 yards and a touchdown. And Andre Woodson, Kentucky quarterback, 24-41 for 268 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. And Stevie Johnson had 88 receiving yards.
Could you imagine if Stafford had came like where would he have went if he came out after this year? I know he couldn't have necessarily, but going through all the stats that he had this year, like it wasn't that impressive, really.
Yeah, I got to Google it right now. Matthew Stafford 2007 stats.
Because he had it felt like pretty much every game that we've talked about, he had like either right around 200 yards passing or less than that. I know they were a run first team. Obviously, when you have Noshawn Moreno and Thomas Brown, you would be, but you also had the eventual number 1 pick at quarterback.
So this was a sophomore season. If you had to guess, how many passing yards did he have in 2007?
I'd say, well, God, I'm going to assume that he killed it against Hawaii in the bowl game. I'm going to say 2,600 yards.
Not far off, 25-23.
Okay, there we go.
His freshman season.
Well, he split time that year, though, right?
Yes, but he played in 13 games.
Okay.
What do you think he had in his freshman season?
900 yards.
1,700.
Oh, no. Okay.
And then he improved by almost 1,000 yards for his 2008 season.
Okay, there we go.
Never got over 62% completion in his career at Georgia.
I remember that being a big issue when they talked about him going number 1 was that completion percentage. I mean, I think it got a little bit better in the NFL, but he's still like there will still be even now there'd still be throws that like he should make he'd overthrow because like he has like that Brett Favre like gunslinger. He doesn't put touch on anything or they're very rare. He broke Calvin Johnson's like all of his fingers. If you look at Calvin Johnson now, his just all over the place. His hands.
And through his career, his yards per attempt was 7.8. That's if a guy had stats like that in college now, well, I was gonna say he would get drafted extremely late, but we have Josh Allen, who similar body type to Stafford coming out, except he's more mobile.
Yeah. Well, then Anthony Richardson too didn't do anything, just underwear Olympics. Yeah.
That's fair. Now we're talking Ohio State, Michigan. Number 7 Ohio State at number 23 Michigan. Ohio State won this with an unbelievably Big Ten score, 14-3. 6th time in 7 years that Ohio State won in fourth consecutive win, which at the time was their longest streak against Michigan. Ohio State running back Beanie Wells, 39 carries, 222 yards, and 2 touchdowns, while their quarterback Todd Beckman was 7 to 13 for 50 yards and an interception.
13 for 50 yards.
Still not as bad as Chad Henney's day, 11 to 34, 68 yards.
He threw 34 times for 68 yards. Couldn't even get to 69. Pathetic.
That just reminds me of a couple years ago against Auburn when I had the running stat in my head of does Robbie Ashford hit 33% completion? Chad Henne did not this day.
He definitely did not. Tough look for Michigan in this game.
Mike Hart, 18 carries for 44 yards. And you have in here, you think it's only the second time in his career that he had less than 75 yards in a game when he had at least 15 carries.
I think so. I mean, it seemed that I thought I heard that or saw it. I may be a little bit fuzzy on the details, but it's not very often that if he gets a decent amount of carries, and he was, and at this time he is generally productive. So just again, tough look all around for Michigan.
So I have a question.
All right.
How often in your life were you disappointed by Michigan before you defected to the light side of the force?
Every fucking year. So when they won the split national championship in '97, like I quasi paid attention to it. I was 7, so it wasn't like I was like, in the weeds with it. I knew Charles Woodson was really good, because we didn't have a choice to recognize that. But all of the time, and who knows? I mean, if I hadn't ended up going to Georgia, who knows? I might still be on the dark side of this. Who knows?
But you stuck with the Lions.
Well, I mean, what the Falcons would have been better?
I mean, the Falcons have made a Super Bowl in your lifetime.
They have.
I mean, you're asking the wrong person to talk you into being a Falcons fan.
Right. That's not going to happen. It just I think the root of it all is I'm a glutton for punishment.
There you go.
I don't like to be happy, I guess. That's what I get for the most part. Being a Georgia fan Kirby Smart as well.
I mean,
Lions
you have a
fan.
Detroit Tigers hat on your head, so.
Yeah. Well, that's just more for style than anything. I've always been a bigger Braves fan, but yeah.
There you go. Number 2, Oregon at Arizona. The curse in number 2 strikes yet again. Arizona won this game 34-24. Dennis Dixon got hurt early, and backup Brady Leaf had 162 yards, 2 interceptions. Took for week 12 for us to talk about it, but Arizona had Gronk at the time.
Yeah, I don't know how we missed this. I really don't.
We haven't had much of a reason to talk about Arizona.
I think they were ranked for a little bit. But again, I mean, we know that it didn't end well for them. So like, there wasn't really a reason to dig too deep into it because if you think about Arizona football, who do you think about? I mean, right now it's Noah Fafita and I guess Gronk, but like even if it was that fucking Arizona, I didn't know who Gronk was.
No. He made his name by bullying people in New England.
Correct.
Which, considering most of New England just is rude and bullies people, it's kind of weird he got famous for it. But he had 5 catches for 73 yards. Number 1, LSU at Ole Miss. LSU won this game 41-24. Ole Miss is now 3-8. Matt Flynn went 17-25 for 168 yards, no touchdowns, no turnovers. Must have been a big Jacob Hester day.
I don't even think it was either. I think it was a lot of rushing for them because the next game that we talk about with LSU will be.
Yeah. Iowa State at number 3 Kansas. Kansas dismantled Iowa State in don't tell me, Gene Chiswick's first year head coach.
Yeah, I mean, Iowa State. I think at this point, I think they were 3-11 as well. So Auburn saw something in him that literally nobody else saw.
Correct. Um, and he saw something in his wallet that only Cam Newton saw. And number 4, Oklahoma at Texas Tech. Texas Tech won this game 34-27. Sam Bradford only had 3 pass attempts. I'm assuming he got hurt.
Yeah,
Sam Bradford played in football.
he's made of glass. Yeah.
Um, Oklahoma quarterback Joey Hazel threw a pick six 90 seconds into the game. Went 21 of 41 for 291 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. DeMarco Murray, 19 carries for 94 yards. Texas Tech, Graham Harrell, 47 of 72, 2
It's insane.
touchdowns, 2 pick. Had a rushing touchdown as well. Michael Crabtree, 12 catches, 153 yards, and a touchdown. And Danny Amendola for Texas Tech, 9 catches for 81 yards.
So how did Texas Tech not do more with that three-headed monster, Graham Harrell, Michael Crabtree, and Danny Amendola?
You really could have just stopped that question at how did Texas Tech not do more?
You're preaching to the choir, brother. You're telling me. Fuck Texas Tech.
Oh, number 5, Mizzou at Kansas State. Mizzou won this game 49-32. Chase Daniel, 284 yards and 4 touchdowns in just one of his show-off games that he had this year.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, West Virginia at number 22, Cincinnati. West Virginia won 28-23. Pat White had 140 yards passing, 155 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns. Steve.
Oh, it should be Steve Slayton. I don't know why the hell they
Okay.
autocorrected to that.
Okay. I was about to say that doesn't look right, but my brain's not mathing right now, so it's going to have to be right. Steve Slayton had 103 yards on the ground.
I was just super dyslexic when I wrote that. I think that's what happened. All the letters were there.
That's true. It's very true. For everyone that doesn't see the outline, it says Steve Alston, and that was the confusion. We got Vandy at number 20, Tennessee. Tennessee eked out of this game 25-24.
Yeah, I don't have any details about that. This week, so like the YouTube page that I would go to look at all the highlights from like college football final didn't have this week in there. They had some individual games, but I was not really any of the ones that I put in here that were like super long. So this is more just kind of like imagining or trying to remember what we had here. But then the following week, they had it.
Yeah, week 13 goes through the top 25. Number 1, LSU, 2, Kansas, 3, Mizzou, 4, West Virginia, 5, Ohio State, 6, Georgia, 7, Arizona State, 8, Virginia Tech. Oregon dropped 7-9. Oklahoma dropped 7-10. 11, Southern Cal, 12, Florida. And I didn't drag out the L long enough, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
13, Texas, 14, Hawaii, 15, Boston College, 16, Virginia, 17, Boise State, 18, Illinois, 19, Tennessee, 20, UConn, 21, Clemson, 22, Wisconsin, 23, BYU, 24, Cincy, and 25, Auburn. Getting it started, we got number 7, Georgia at Georgia Tech. Georgia won this game 31-17. Stafford, 14-29 for 214 yards. There's an over 200-yard game and 1 touchdown.
There we go.
He had a 31-yard run in the game and a rushing touchdown. Thomas Brown really carried the game. 17 carries for 139 yards and another score. Georgia finished the regular season 10-2, but lost the tiebreaker to Tennessee, so they did not get the chance to play LSU in the SEC championship.
That should have been the game that we saw. Good God.
And Georgia LSU is actually the most common matchup in SEC championship games.
What, they played, what, 4 times? Have they played? Oh, yeah, they have. Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Divisionless now, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, maybe never again. We'll see.
Now we got number 11 Southern Cal at number 6 Arizona. Southern Cal won this game 44-24. John David Booty 375 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, USC was killing it in this game. I don't know what happened to Mark Sanchez. I guess John David Booty was hurt, parts of the season, so we didn't see Mark here, but they were lighting it up in at Arizona State. So
it is wild to me to see like just back to back Stafford 14-29, 214 yards. John David Booty 375 yards, 4 touchdowns. One of those guys is still in the NFL and has a Super Bowl ring. It's not the guy with better numbers.
and one of them has a cousin or nephew that's the quarterback at UL Monroe.
Yep. Matthew Stafford's kids aren't even old enough to think about college right now.
Yeah, what's funny was the Kentucky Georgia game that we talked about, for the previous week. They're like I started to watch some of that game, and I think they cut to Kelly Stafford no less than like a dozen times in the first quarter. It's weird.
Yeah, if it was 2006, they would have cut to Joe Cox than Kelly Stafford.
Her inspiration.
Yes.
Why she does what she do.
Arkansas at number 1 LSU. This was a game of just a two-headed monster that Arkansas had in 2007.
Dude, it was 3 in this game.
Yeah, that. So Arkansas won this game 50-48. Their quarterback Casey Dick, all-time name.
I got so something we didn't mention before with Casey Dick. The back of his jersey, apparently there's another Dick on this team. So Casey Dick on his back of his jersey said C Dick. Yeah. Hell yeah.
He was 10 of 18 for 94 yards and a touchdown. How did they get to 50 points, you ask? Darren McFadden, 3 of 6 for passing, 34 yards and 1 touchdown. And then just, if you know Darren McFadden, 32 carries, 206 yards, 3 touchdowns, including a 73-yard touchdown.
And you know what? McFadden was in the Wild Hog, cranking that hog. He probably was in that formation like at least 10 times. And threw it 6. Like
Yeah.
crazy.
Keep him honest.
Yeah.
Madden covered Peyton Hillis, 11 carries, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns, including a 65-yard touchdown, with 5 receptions for 62 yards and 2 more touchdowns.
Peyton Hillis, I think he had like 1,100 yards that year that he was the Madden cover athlete and then disappeared forever. Now, he did have that issue, or not issue, but he saved somebody at a beach or whatever that was drowning.
Yeah.
So, good guy.
Yes.
Hero.
Yeah. The Madden curse does not affect other people if you are trying to help them.
Correct.
Felix Jones, 9 carries, 85 yards. Matt Flynn, less than stellar day, 22 of 47, 209 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jacob Hester, great guy, met him once. He has no idea who I am, just to be clear. 28 carries, 126 yards, and 2 touchdowns. 42 total points were scored in the overtime periods.
Insane.
LSU loves to do that in their last game of the season.
Yeah, whether it's Arkansas, Texas A&M, the final play, Matt Flynn, they were going for 2 obviously because they lost by 2. It looked like it was picked off in the end zone by Arkansas. I couldn't quite tell, but again, it didn't matter. That was the end of the game.
Speaking of Texas A&M, 13 Texas at Texas A&M. Texas A&M won this game 38-30. Colt McCoy was mid at best in this game, 17-32, 229 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Texas did have Jamal Charles, who had 17 carries for 92 yards and a touchdown to go with 4 receptions for 81 yards. And Texas A&M finished the regular season 7-5 as God intended, and Texas finished 9-3.
Also as God intended.
All was right in the world in 2007, some people are saying.
Some are saying, yeah.
Not me. Number 19, Boise State at number 15, Hawaii. Hawaii won this game 39-27. Colt Brennan, 40 of 53, 495 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 picks. Sounds a lot like my dynasty quarterbacks
Yeah.
stat line.
hmm
Won national championship, just trying to get him a Heisman. Boise State running back Ian Johnson, 22 carries for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a 50-yard touchdown run, and 3 catches for 39 yards. And former Detroit Lion Titus Young, 2 catches for 15 yards.
Before he got to Detroit and did crack and broke into people's houses, he was third round pick for them. Like he was good for Boise, but just not this game.
I mean, he moved to Detroit. I thought that was all acceptable.
That was like his welcome package was a crack pipe and
Crowbar.
yeah, hell yeah.
Number 4, Mizzou at number 2, Kansas. And Curse of number 2 strikes once again. Mizzou won the Big 12 game of the century of the year, 36-28, in what is one of the most underrated rivalries in all of college sports. I agree. Just throwing this wild hope out there. If the SEC expands again, annex Kansas.
Annex
1,
Kansas.
basketball.
Yep.
2, Kansas, Mizzou.
hmm So Mizzou has a rival that feels equal hatred towards them.
Right. Because, it doesn't matter who it is. Mizzou, if Mizzou comes into town, everybody's friendly. You
Yeah.
end up just buying each other beers back and forth at, all good. It's weird. I'm supposed to hate you,
Mm.
but I can't.
They're Midwest nice, not
They are.
SEC. Yeah.
They are. Chase Daniels, 40 of 49, 361 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That's insanely efficient.
Yes. Both teams had 3 receivers, each with over 69 yards.
Nice. That's real nice. Real
Wait.
nice.
Wait. Damn it, the score doesn't add up. It's almost there.
Oh, that's so close.
Ah, damn it. We needed another field goal and a safety by somebody. Oh, that was quick math. Y'all should be proud of me.
That was impressive. Yeah. I'm just taking your word for it.
Number 20 UConn at number 3 West Virginia in a conference game. West Virginia won 66-21. Pat White had 107 yards passing, had 1 touchdown, 1 pick, but then 16 carries for 186 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Pat White, just again, insane.
I need to go back and just watch all West Virginia games from 2007.
hmm
Steve Slayton, 10 carries, 54 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Pat McAfee, still on College game day. If you don't like it, you don't like fun.
Right.
He was 1-2 on field goals, but hit a 46-yard field goal and was 8 for 8 on extra points.
8 for 8.
That's. Speaking of West Virginia, in my dynasty this morning before Kelsey woke up, I scored 94 points on Michigan State.
What is that? What 2026 or so?
I'm in the 27th season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just for shits and gigs, since we're talking about the game, so I had 2 different dynasties. I was doing one with Georgia Southern, one with Georgia. Just played Tennessee on Heisman. I think I sent it in the group chat, but Arian Smith went fucking off. He had like 400, like almost 400 yards receiving and like 4 touchdowns.
My quarterback had 712 passing yards against Michigan State.
Well, again, they're not familiar with the forward pass unless they're playing Ohio State, so they couldn't prepare.
Yeah, like I said, won the national championship last year in the dynasty, and I'm just, I currently have 3 players on Heisman watch, so
Oh yeah.
fingers crossed I get one of them. Number 8, Virginia Tech at number 16, Virginia. Virginia Tech won this game 33-21. Number 9, Oregon at UCLA. In the undoing of Oregon over the last couple of weeks, UCLA won this game in a shutout, 16-0.
Did you know UCLA is in LA?
Is it?
Yeah, that's what their coach said at their Big Ten media days. He had a shirt. They had a shirt made for him, a Nike shirt that had like the outline of California, the UCLA logo in LA, and it just said "We're in LA." Again, if I think
Still in the
we
Big
might
Ten
have mentioned it. We might have mentioned it last week, or I might have just said it in passing. But that press conference that the UCLA coach had, I'm forgetting his name, but again, it doesn't really matter. It's super awkward. It's like as if I was the head coach talking and just completely just froze and just said some bullshit. He's like, we're in LA. Something you should know about us. We're in LA. No kidding. Yeah.
Number 18, Tennessee at Kentucky. Tennessee won this game 52-50 in triple overtime. Eric Ainge had the best day of his life, except for maybe, the day he got out of rehab. 28-45 for 397 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Arian Foster, 27 carries, 118 yards, adding 9 receptions for 98 yards and a touchdown. And Andre Woodson was just 39 of 62 for 430 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions.
Arian Foster, I know he has some like injury stuff going on, but like that man went undrafted.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Also, the first time I ever heard about what veganism is was because Arian Foster had a thing on ESPN about being a vegan.
Oh my God, he got so much hate for that. So much hate for being a vegan.
It's like, oh, maybe your joints would do better if you ate protein. Just a thought.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta eat more than beans to get protein, son.
But that's going to do it for this episode. I believe we have one more left, like I said at the top. So if you guys enjoyed this, let us know what season you want us to cover next year. Just throwing it out there. Something that hopefully we can still find clips of on YouTube. Like, don't ask me about the 1957 season. Don't do it.
We go game by game for the what was it, the 1942 Georgia National Championship? That would be fun.
Yeah, let's go to the UGA archives and find newspapers.
That's some
Let's
real
hear about the train ride out to Baton Rouge.
electric, yeah. Shoeless Joe at fucking running back spelling Sinkwich. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, if there's something I would say 21st century that you guys want us to talk about next year, let us know. But in the meantime, come hang out with us at Barrel House. Follow us on social media at nothing.finder.pod on Instagram, at finderpod on Twitter. Just look us up on Facebook and YouTube. On TikTok, we are Nothing Finder Podcast. Rate and review the show 5 stars. And as always, guys, remember there's nothing finer in the land.
And a drunk obnoxious Georgia fan.